Hi girls, today I'm going to explain the concept of inheritance, extending classes. Reusability is yet another important feature of OOP. It always nice if you could reuse something that already exists rather than trying to create the same all over again. It would not only save time and money but also reduce and increase reliability. For instance, the reuse of a class that has already been tested, debugged, and used many times can save us the effort of developing and testing the same again. Fortunately, C++ strongly support the concept of reusability. The C++ classes can be reused in several ways. Once a class has been written and tested, it can be adapted by other programmers to suit their requirements. This is basically done by creating new classes, reusing the properties of the existing one. The mechanism of deriving a new class from an old one is called inheritance or derivation. The old class is referred to as the base class and the new one is called the derived class or the subclass. The mechanism of deriving a new class from an old one is called inheritance or derivation. The old class is referred to as the base class and the new one is called the derived class or subclass. The derived class inherits some or all the traits of the base class. A class can also inherit properties from more than one class or from more than one level. A derived class with only one base class is called single inheritance, and one with several base classes is called multiple inheritance. On the other hand, the traits of one class may be inherited by more than one class. This process is known as hierarchical inheritance. The mechanism of deriving a class from another derived class is known as multi-level inheritance. So shortly, the inheritance is the capability of one class to inherit properties from another class. The base class, it is the class whose properties are inherited by another class. It is also called superclass. The derived class is the class that inherited properties from base class. It is also called subclass. The process of inheritance allows the programmer to create a new class called the derived class from another called the base class. The derived class automatically has all the member variables and functions present in the base class. The derived class can be defined additional member function variables or both. Class D is derived from the class B, means the class D has all the features of class B and some extra added feature as well. Sometimes D is called the child class and the B is called the parent class. So this is the example for the inheritance. For example, the children can get some of the features, some of the quality, character from their father and mother. This is called the inheritance. Here the child can get any of the feature from father, any of the quality or any of the character from her mother also. For example, here the base class is a fruit. The subclasses are the variety of fruits available. Generally, we call the fruit as a class. Here the subclass are apple, banana, grapes, like that. So here the base class is fruit. That means the parent class is called fruit. The child class is called the apple and banana. The apple and banana are the category from the fruit. They can get some of the features from the parent class, but it also has its own features too. Here this is the example of the inheritance. The base class has its own data members and own member functions. The derived class can get the data members and methods from the base class and also has its own data members and methods. The types of inheritance in C++ are single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. The first one is the single inheritance. The single inheritance means the derived class has get the properties from the single base class, that is called the single inheritance. The class B here has one base class, that is called the class A. Simple or single inheritance. Simple or single inheritance is a process in which a subclass is derived from only one superclass. Here the superclass is also called as the base class. Here in this example, a class car is derived from the class vehicle. Here the syntax of defining the simple inheritance or single inheritance is class, class name and the visibility node and the new class name. The old class name, so the old class visibility mode and then the old class name. Here the car is the class is the keyword, car is the new class name, that is a derived class name, and then the visibility mode, it may be a public, private or protected. Vehicle is the old class name. Declaration of derived class. A derived class can be defined by specifying its relationship with the base class in addition to its own details. The general form of defining a derived class is class, derived class name, colon, and then visibility mode, base class name. And then open the curly brace and close it. Within that you have to give the members of the derived classes. So the visibility mode may be public, private or protected. The colon indicates that the derived class name is derived from the base class name. Here the colon indicates that the derived class name is derived from the base class name. The visibility mode is optional and if present may be either private or public. The default visibility mode is private. Visibility mode specifies whether the feature of the base class are privately derived or publicly derived. Once again I repeat this, the default visibility mode is private. Visibility mode specifies whether the feature of the base class are privately derived or publicly derived. When a base class is privately inherited by a derived class, public members of the base class become private members of the derived class. And therefore, the public members of the base class can be only accessed by the member functions of the derived class. They are inaccessible to the object of the derived class. Remember, a public member of a class can be accessed by its own object using the dot operator. The result is that no member of the base class is accessible to the objects of the derived class. A derived class can be defined by specifying its relationship with the base class in addition to its own details. Here this is I already explained that this is the syntax of the derived class. Class is a keyword, derived class name, colon, visibility mode and the base class name. Within this, the derived class member functions and members are declared. So this is the example of the single inheritance, one base class and one subclass. In this example, this is the class A. Within the class A, method A is defined. Within this method, the output statement is given. This is class A. And then the class is closed here. And then second class, the class name is B, colon. And then the specifier here is the public A. Because the class A is inherited in the public mode, public specifier. Here the method A automatically derived to the subclass B. Here with the main function, you can create an object to the derived class, class B. Capital B is the class of the derived class name. This is the object created to that class. By using that object, the method A also called, the method B also called. When this method is called, it automatically calls this and print this. This is A class. When this method member function is called, it goes to this member function and display this output statement. A structure having one and only one parent as well as a child class. A child class is authorized to access the property of the parent class. Here this is the pictorial representation of the base class and child class, sharing the properties to the child class, and the child class has accessing the class rights to access the parent class. Here this is the parent class is the class A. Class B extends A. Here this is not extend. In C++, you have to give the colon, public specifier and the class name, old class name. Making private member inheritable. C++ provide. We have just seen how to increase the capabilities of an existing class without modifying it. We have also seen that a private member of a base class cannot be inherited and therefore it is not available for the derived class directly. Once again, I repeat this statement. The private member of a base class cannot be inherited and therefore it is not available for the derived class directly. What do we do if the private data needs to be inherited by a derived class? This can be accomplished by modifying the visibility limit of the private member by making it public. This would make it accessible to all other functions of the program, thus taking away the advantage of data hiding. C++ provide a third visibility modifier, protected, which serve a limited purpose in inheritance. A member declared as protected is accessible by the member functions within its class and any class immediately derived from it. It can't be accessed by the functions outside these two classes. Once again, I repeat this. C++ provide a third visibility modifier called protected, which serve a limited purpose in inheritance. A member declared as protected is accessible by the member functions with its class and any class immediately derived from it. It can't be accessed by the function outside these two classes. So here this is a class can now use all the three visibility modes as illustrated here. Class alpha, private means it's optional, visible to the member function within the class only. If you declare the member functions and member in the private mode, it is visible to the member within its class. If you declare the variables and members in the protected mode, it is visible to member functions of its own and immediate derived class. If you declare the member functions and variable in the public mode, it should be visible to all the functions in the program. So this is the pictorial representation of the member and the inheritance. If you declare the variables in public, it should be inherited in both mode, public and protected. Protected members are only inherited by the public and protected. Private variables does not be inherited by the other classes. This is the effect of inheritance on the visibility of member. Here this is the class B. Here this is the class D1. This class D1 inherit this class B in the public mode. So, the protected variable of this base class is to be accessed in the D1 class, and also the public variables are also used in the D1 class as the public mode. But the class B has a private variable. That private variable does not be inherited. Here this is the class D2. This class D2 inherit the base class B. Here also the private variable does not inherited by the class D2. But the protected member variables or member functions of the base class are used in the subclass in the protected mode, private mode. The public specifier are also used here. When a protected member is inherited in public mode, it becomes protected in the derived class too. When a protected member is inherited in public mode, it became protected in the derived class too and therefore is accessible by the member functions of the derived class. It is also ready for further inheritance. A protected member inherited the private mode derivation becomes private to its derived class. Here, in this example, the base class is derived as public. In this class D2, the base class is derived in the private mode. So, we have seen the difference between these two. The private variable of the base class does not be accessed by both the classes, whether it is public or private. This protected mode is used as protected in the public specifier of the base class. Here, the protected is used as a protected private specifier in the privately accessed derived class. So, this is the difference between the both. A protected member inherited in private mode derivation becomes private in its derived class.